list of suicide survivors, you will find a person who lost their loved ones, the surviving family, and the person who somehow thinks that they were responsible for the death, which of course they weren't. However, there is no mention of a person on whom the blame has been forcibly pegged at. The person who's neither the family nor friend, the person who adversity just chose to strike upon. When adversity chose me, it did not see the stars in my eyes, nor did it see the zest I had for life. I was 23, extremely hardworking, and very passionate about what I did. I would also like to add that I was probably, I had much more exposure than most of my counterparts, and probably because of that, the business owner aligned both his sons to work and learn along with. Unfortunately for me, one of the sons, he developed a crush and confessed. I politely declined. I was already dating someone. And he first pleaded and then threatened. So I informed his brother, who then got him shifted to another department. And, I worked for a little while more. Well, post that, jilted crush phase, the harassment that I faced was, phenomenal. So to cut long story short, I decided to quit the job. And that was when he proposed marriage, else threatened suicide. It is extremely important that I add over here that I was only 3 months old into the organization. And, when he threatened me at that point of his brother, and I went back home, it happened. He killed himself. Now, in 1998, suicide awareness was not all that great. And I, for one, definitely did not know how to read the warning signals. Suicide, the causes are very diverse, and they're often obscure. The British Medical Journal, it goes on to say that suicide has been described as one of the most baffling social diseases. One of the blogs at National Alliance of Mental Illness, it goes on to say that the stigma, it still persists, and the family is usually in denial that a suicide could happen to them. Well, this family was no different. They actually, went ahead and wanted to question me. Yeah. So almost a week after that, I was, either at their place or I was on phone answering to the relentless badgering, which ranged from whether I'd slept with him to why could I not say a yes to him? Yep, you heard that correct. Even that. And after that, needless to say that I had quit the job, was trying to deal with this entire situation. However, most people in denial, this continued for a little while. And the trauma that I faced, I was not alone in it. Fortunately for me, I told my mother right from the beginning, what was happening at work. And I would, just like to add over here again that let this not fool anyone. That I had lost weight, was crazy enough. The trauma was for my family as well. My father, he started getting all his contacts in place, lest this took a legal turn. And my mother, she spent sleepless nights, right with me. And my sister, who was the youngest of the lot, tried to hold all of us together in whatever best way we could. Now, when, we kind of just learn to avoid our emotions. We either, overwork or undereat or isolate ourselves or ruminate, and there are so many others. In my case, I isolated myself. Of course, I was at home all the time, and I almost cut communication with everyone. Three of my friends from the same industry, they reached out. They did all the girly routine of, staying with me, doing my hair, painting my nails, and I am very, very grateful to them. However, that only helped that much. My sister, she would take me out forcibly, and I distinctly remember one incident where I slept in a dance studio of a friend with blaring music and in broad daylight, probably because of that. We would go to temples on specific days, stand in long queues to ask for sanity and to seek forgiveness, because by that time I had started believing that I was guilty. So, with all this continued for about 4 months, and come New Year, my family pushed me that, put this behind you and move on. So I decided to take in all the worries and, hold a straight face and started preparing for interviews again. I gave a couple and I got asked about the incident, and I still continued. I landed up with a job, and most of the people knew about the incident through their own lenses though. And fast forward, I started working. Most of the people were very, very kind to me. Then a blue-collared employee over there, he started giving me similar warning signals. And again, I was only 15 days old into the organization. Probably through his lens of worldview, he thought that he could get away with it, and he showed a huge sense of entitlement. This time, I did not inform anyone, and I just quit the job. I kept thinking that what can I do so that this doesn't resurface? So I decided to switch industries, and after 3 years of doing something that I totally loved and enjoyed, I started looking for another set of job now. I took the first available opportunity, and at exactly half the pay of what I was getting last, and moved on. So if we try to understand our emotions as to how they feel to us physically, we'll be able to deal with it a lot better. I understand that it is very difficult to open yourself up and make yourself vulnerable. However, education undoes a lot of damaging myths. So I kept reading, unlearning, and relearning. After 9 years of not making friends at work, I unlearned not opening up to people and made friends. I learned that blame is a quick escape from guilt. I learned that when life takes a turn, you could either sit and complain or face it. I also learned that one of the best skills to acquire is listening. I learned that if you want to make someone feel better, just ask them how they feel and then let them do the talking. As the course of my career progression took me to training, which is like very close to my heart, I got a opportunity, to touch thousands of lives, and more importantly, to hear a few out. And probably because of that, I have had such heartwarming experiences of meeting and knowing a woman who was raised at SOS Village. I even attended her wedding. And of knowing a woman who was raised at a women's shelter because she got lost on a railway track when she was only 4. Yes? So strength, it just comes from processing your emotions and not avoiding them. Strength comes from believing that when life throws you a challenge, you need to acquire a new set of skills and knowledge to overcome and to cope up. Strength comes from being able to change your plans and pivot. And healing comes from helping others. So go ahead, ask someone, how they feel, and let them open their floodgates. And go ahead, also give your 2 ears and the brain in between, and just listen. In the process, you'll probably heal yourself so much, and we all could do with some of it. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.